for Hyper, so he's definitely been teching up. I've just had less glimpses of FrOzean's base, so I haven't been really able to talk about what tech he's been going for, although he has been going for quite a standard factory build now, going into the science vessel support. I don't know where his science vessel is at. Oh, there it is, right in front of my face. So I think maybe FrOzean wants to push out at the moment because, you know, although he does have the defensive advantage with his siege tanks, at the same time, because he does not have the economy advantage, he needs to be the one laying down the pain, because with all his hatcheries and the superior economy, he will just be able to whoop him. So, just as I spoke, there are lurkers on the field now. I did spot a couple, so thank God for that science vessel there. It might get sniped off by the Hydras. So more siege tanks in this mix than I thought there were. I suppose you would rather have, you know, I mean, if money were no object, you would rather have Goliaths as the iron shield for your siege tanks rather than vultures, depending on what style of play you're going for, I guess. So a few little troops here caught out of things, so it looks as if the slow push is beginning from here. Quite a few sieged up there. I don't know where the Goliath support troops are. There they are. Only I think those ones are hankering back, to be honest. Maybe going in at an odd angle now rather than trying to meet those siege tanks head on. Another expansion going up on the part of Hyvaa. So yeah, no, he is going to try and take this force head on. One of those Goliaths got the shield matrix on it. Now would be a good time for an irradiate, kids. But it looks as if the forces are not enough, and even though there's so much Zerg blood on the field, the forces are just ploughing through. The Zerglings supported by Hydras are managing to just cut a line through this line of siege tanks. And this is really not good. And now coming in the side as well, the Zergling sandwich of death. There are a couple of science vessels left, and it does look as if that troop had survived, but huge casualties on the part of the Terran player there. Well, huge casualties on both sides. And now we see the Hive. So, you know, they were just regular vanilla Zerglings there. They were vanilla Zerglings that weren't even on the crack yet. When you know, if that push had had cracklings, it would have gone all the way to the man's base. I tell you that, my friends. So, couple of lurkers, not as many as I'd like to see. Not that I like mass lurkers. Finally got the expansion going up there. That's probably why he's been trying to guard or do his slow push from here. Nearly mined out at that position. Actually, there at his natural for FrOzean, which means both players will probably be nearly mined out at their main and natural. Not good for them, I say. Well, not good for FrOzean, as he definitely does not have the expansion advantage there. Clearly, just sort of Hyva's been trying to stalk all of the possible expansions with his overlords, and alternately, FrOzean's just been whooping around with his vultures, getting sly little checks in. Couple of Scourge right there, which hopefully will be to counter the science vessels. There still will probably be if FrOzean goes for the same unit mixture as he has been before, the same sort of ratio of Goliaths to siege tanks, those Scourge probably won't be able to get anywhere near the science vessels if he's got the right micro. So we've got a little Zergling force coming in here, trying to attack the comsat station, maybe, so we can push him with the lurkers, or maybe possibly just for mine drags, just trying to send him in and clear out any mines that may or may not be in the area. Sort of the precursor to the Zerg rush. Not that it's a rush in the traditional sense, it's just, you know, whenever there's a mass of hideous aliens coming towards you, you generally feel a bit rushed. Oh, so we got Defiler Mound, because everyone loves splash damage. So Defiler Mound going up. Don't know if that will be hugely useful. It all depends how I use it. Mine drags there, taking down a few of those mutas there. Siege tank as well, laying down some death upon them. Managing to survive longer than I thought, actually. Now we've got some lurkers in there. Will reap some real havoc on that mineral line. Goliath's coming in just to chase off the chase off there. But oh, scan goes off and the lurkers go down, except for the one slowly there in the corner. So we got some more hydras snaking in around the side. I don't know if they're to secure another expansion or maybe make a definitive push. It looks as if they are to maybe try and support another hatchery going up. Saying that though, no, it does look as if they're going to try and maybe push through here. FrOzean as well, also making a little push out in his own direction. So it looks as if maybe we might have something like an expansion trade. But to be honest, I think the game might already be over because FrOzean just hasn't got enough expansions. You know, I mean, I must admit, Hyvaa must have just a drastically superior economy, and that's what's probably going to win this for him, unless right now with the siege tank force, FrOzean gets off a really clever little bit of sieging and manages to slowly wipe the expansions off the face of the earth, as he's attempting to do now. You know, get some good ridge support, and now here come the Hydralisks ploughing forward towards the siege tanks. Got a couple of Goliaths there for support. Goliaths go down, siege tank goes down, more siege tanks coming in from the side. The Hydras quite wisely retreat. Looks as if we are going to see a drop now at last, maybe, as we do have Defilers and all those Zerglings there. I could be wrong actually. I don't think we are going to see a drop as those Overlords just went off in their own direction. Probably, as I said, more for mobile detection. One Overlord goes down there. We've got some Lurker eggs morphing down there. Siege tanks in reasonable position, but it does look like we have fully upgraded Zerglings right now. And now the Hydras are pushing in towards the siege tanks. They are trying to break through this Terran force that's positioned slightly out of the way. And if this force goes down, then FrOzean's expansion will be completely defenseless. Dark Swarm goes off, but that's mainly for the Goliath support rather than necessarily for the splash damage, as it's much less effective, or in fact not effective against that. Looks as if there are some Overlords down by the expansion and just Zerglings and Lurkers rushing in under the orange swarm to take down that siege tank. Thankfully it does have a defense matrix on it, so it will be able to take quite a bit of stick. But now this expansion is going down to this Hydralisk force while the main army is attacked, and you can see it on his face. That is the game, my friends. GG has not been called, but he's got no additional expansions, FrOzean. And so Zerglings coming in now to take down those few siege tanks, maybe try and chase and get at those drones that are trying to retreat. Lots of mines going off, taking down a couple of those Zerglings. Only 3 left now, coming towards the main. But he's only got his main and his natural, and both are nearly completely mined out. And look at that Lurker force and all the Zerglings swarming in. There's probably still quite a few Hydras. I think FrOzean knows he has lost this. I think once all this force arrives at his front door and he starts feeling the pain, then okay, so a radiate goes off on one of the Lurkers, but it's too little too late, and there's the GG. So wonderful play from both players. Both had we had some good battles, we had some good micro, we had some reasonable macro. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. As always guys, if you love me or hate me, lay down some comments to validate me. Anyway, toodly pips, ta-ra.